New York, 1933. The Depression has swallowed the city whole. 13 million people out of work, shanty towns along the Hudson, kids in rags. And at the top of all of it, Norman Osborn, the Goblin, a crime lord who owns the cops, the mayor, and half the politicians in the state. Peter Parker grows up in the middle of this. No money, no safety net. Raised by Aunt May, a woman who stands on soapboxes in the snow and fights for people nobody else will fight for. Then the Goblin has his Uncle Ben murdered, tied up, beaten, and torn apart while he was still alive. Not by dogs, like the official story says, by the Vulture, Adrian Toombs, a man who spent so long in a freak show being treated like an animal that somewhere along the line, the last of his humanity slipped away. Peter finds the body, and something inside him that was already cracking breaks. He starts working alongside journalist Ben Urish, photographing the broken city for the Daily Bugle. Every injustice he witnesses makes the anger burn hotter. Then they catch a tip. Osborn's people are picking up a shipment of stolen artifacts at a warehouse on Pier 57. 1 in the morning, they go. Inside the warehouse, a crate gets dropped. It smashes open, and out come the spiders. They swarm Osborn's men, and one of them bites Peter. What happens next is something the comic doesn't fully explain, and that's the point. Peter sees a vision, an ancient spider goddess. She tells him her bite brings death to those of evil intent, but for him, a greater torment, the curse of power. He wakes up with a bullet wound he can't feel, and abilities he can't explain. He doesn't want magic. He believes in science, but whatever this is, he's going to use it. Back in the real world, the situation gets worse. Uric is being paid by Osborn, not because he wants to be, because Osborn has something on him. His morphine habit, his compromised past. $50 slipped across a desk like a dog getting a treat. Peter finds out, calls Uric a coward, tells him he never wants to see his face again. That same night, 2 things happen in parallel. Uric sits in his apartment. He's decided to turn on Osborn. He calls Jameson at the Bugle. I'm giving you the Goblin. Names, dates, photographs. Enough to put him away for 12 murders. He opens the door to a knock. Blam! Blam! He's dead before he hits the floor. And in another room across the city, Peter is sewing. Sitting on the floor with a needle and thread, the pieces of a mask taking shape in his hands. He picks it up, looks at himself in the mirror. I'm doing it for you, Uncle Ben. Say your prayers, Goblin. Here comes the Spider-Man. Using Uric's files, Peter hits Osborn's operations one by one. Every drug shipment, every protection racket, every location the Goblin runs out of. He leaves a calling card at each one. A spider symbol, webbed to the wall, so Osborn knows who's coming. The city notices. The Daily Bugle runs a headline. Who is the Spider-Man? Osborn gives himself 1 week to fix it before his partners walk. He figures out someone has Uric's files. Parker, or Felicia Hardy, the woman who owns the Black Cat Speakeasy and who was closer to Uric than anyone knew. Peter goes looking for answers about Jameson and finds himself in a trap. Gunfire at the Daily Bugle. He barely gets out. Shot. Doesn't feel it. He digs through the files and finds the name he's been missing. The Chameleon. A man who can mold his face to look like anyone. The body in the morgue wasn't Jameson. It was a shapeshifter wearing his face. The real Jameson is still alive, and Osborn has him. Osborn sends the Vulture to Aunt May's apartment. Peter gets there just after. The Vulture has her. He says, "How fast do you move, Spider? Fast enough to stop me snapping her neck?" Peter looks at him. No, probably not. He shoots Toombs dead. Aunt May is horrified. "You shot an unarmed man. Give me the gun. We are nothing without rules of behavior." Peter says, "He won't stop. He'll never stop. I'm sorry." The final confrontation happens in a meatpacking district warehouse the files call the Torture House. Jameson in a cage with Craven's tiger. Felicia in chains. Osborn's full crew waiting. Peter comes through the ceiling. The fight is brutal. Every freak and enforcer Osborn has ever recruited. All of them at once. Peter tears through all of it. And then Osborn's mask comes off. His real face. Warped. Green. Covered in tumors from whatever dark power runs through those artifacts. The face he's hidden under money and charm and tailored suits his entire life. All my life, he says. People threw stones at me. Now when they say my name, I hear respect. He puts a gun in Peter's hand. Go ahead, pull the trigger. Be a hero. Peter thinks of Aunt May's voice. I don't want to live in a world where people kill one another like animals. He webs Osborn's weapon out of his hand, throws him across the room and tells him, "You're going to stand trial." Osborn laughs. "You put me in a courtroom, you don't get a trial, you get a freak show." And then the spiders come. Osborn goes down screaming, buried under them. It's over. There's nowhere to run. 2 months later, corruption charges hit 17 high-ranking police officers and a string of politicians, all based on evidence collected by the late Benjamin Uric. His name is finally in the paper for the right reasons. Peter visits Felicia, gives her something he found among Uric's papers, an old photograph, the 2 of them together, young, happy, She looks at it, doesn't speak. Spring has come. Aunt May is still on her soapbox, still fighting because she knows the monsters are always with us. The newspapers confirm it. Hitler just passed the Enabling Act in Germany. But that's okay, because there will always be good guys too. That's Spider-Man Noir, a version of Peter Parker with no safety net, no jokes, and no mercy. Don't forget to like and subscribe.